Dr. Zinthra's crystalline appendages vibrated with barely contained excitement as she observed the readings on her instruments. After 3 centuries of study, the Kethmoran Death Labyrinth remained one of the galaxy's most lethal archaeological sites, an ancient testing ground designed by a long-extinct civilization to eliminate any form of biological life that dared to enter. "The atmospheric readings are absolutely fascinating," she transmitted to her research partner, Dr. Velquan, whose gaseous form flickered nervously near the entrance. "Sulfuric acid concentration at 94%, radiation levels exceeding 50,000 rads per hour, gravitational fluctuations that would crush most organic matter, and temperature variations from -200 to 800 degrees Celsius within microseconds." The labyrinth stretched before them. A twisted maze of corridors lined with walls that secreted compounds toxic to cellular life, floors that generated electromagnetic pulses designed to disrupt nervous systems, and ceiling panels that released spores engineered to consume organic tissue at the molecular level. 17 research teams have attempted to penetrate this facility, Dr. Velquan reminded her, his form condensing with anxiety. "None have survived past the first chamber. Even our most advanced robotic probes are destroyed within minutes by the adaptive defense systems." That's when Dr. Marcus Webb arrived. The human xenoarchaeologist stepped off the transport shuttle, breathing apparatus hanging casually around his neck, wearing nothing but standard field clothes and a confident smile. His skin was already showing the telltale redness of radiation exposure from the planet's surface, yet he seemed completely unbothered. "Dr. Webb." Zinthra's translator converted her harmonic frequencies into human comprehensible speech. "Surely you understand the absolute lethality of this environment. We've calculated that exposure to even the entrance chamber would kill most carbon-based life forms within 3.7 seconds. Marcus shrugged, checking his basic field scanner. "Looks about as hostile as the volcanic regions back home in Yellowstone. Maybe a bit more acidic than the deep-sea thermal vents I worked at last year." The alien scientists exchanged what could only be described as incredulous communication bursts. "Dr. Webb." Velquan's gaseous form pulsed urgently. "This facility was specifically designed by the Kethmorans to eliminate biological threats. It represents the pinnacle of their xenocidal technology. No living thing is supposed to survive contact with." "Right, well," Marcus interrupted, pulling on a pair of thick gloves. "I'm going to take a look inside. Be back in a few hours." Before either alien could stop him, Marcus walked directly into the labyrinth. The first chamber's sensors immediately detected organic life and activated. Acid sprayers engaged, coating everything with concentrated sulfuric compounds. Radiation emitters surged to maximum output. Gravitational manipulators created crushing fields of force. Marcus paused, wiped some acid off his face mask, and continued walking. "This is impossible!" Zinthra's instruments screamed warnings as they tracked the human's progress. "The acid concentration should be dissolving his cellular structure. The radiation levels would sterilize most known life forms," Velquan added, watching in horror as Marcus casually navigated around gravitational distortions that had crushed their previous robotic probes. In the second chamber, bioweapon spores designed to consume organic matter were released in massive clouds. Marcus sneezed once and kept walking, apparently treating the ancient biological weapons like seasonal pollen. The third chamber featured temperature extremes that flash froze and superheated the air in rapid cycles. Marcus paused to zip up his jacket and continued his survey, taking detailed photographs of Kethmoran hieroglyphs that no living being had seen for millennia. "How is his cellular structure remaining intact?" Zinthra's voice carried notes of genuine panic. "The thermal shock alone should have caused complete systemic failure. His species evolved on a Class 12 death world," Velquan reminded her, his gaseous form now a pale, worried yellow. But surely there are limits to biological adaptation. By the fourth chamber, the labyrinth's AI had begun cycling through increasingly desperate countermeasures. Electromagnetic pulses that should have stopped his heart merely made Marcus's radio crackle. Toxic gases that could kill entire ecosystems prompted him to put on his breathing mask with mild annoyance. The defense systems are actually learning, Deathtrap observed with growing awe. They're analyzing his biology and adapting their attacks, but nothing is working. His species' tolerance parameters exceed the facility's maximum lethality thresholds. 6 hours later, Marcus emerged from the complete labyrinth, carrying a bag full of Kethmoran artifacts and looking slightly sunburned. "Fascinating civilization," he announced cheerfully, handing Dr. Zinthra a perfectly preserved data crystal. "Their technology is incredibly sophisticated, but their understanding of biological resilience was clearly limited to their own evolutionary experience." The alien scientist stared at him in stunned silence. "The final chamber had some interesting warning inscriptions," Marcus continued, consulting his notes. "Roughly translated, they say no life form could possibly survive the trials beyond this point." "They seemed pretty confident about that." Dr. Velquan's gaseous form had turned a shocked shade of blue. "Dr. Webb, that facility was designed to kill gods." Marcus grinned, patting some acidic residue off his jacket. "Good thing I'm just human, then. Anyone want to grab lunch? All that walking worked up an appetite." The report filed by the research team 3 days later would revolutionize galactic understanding of biological adaptation and officially reclassify humans from hardy species to impossibly resilient Deathworlders whose survival capabilities exceed theoretical maximums. The Kethmoran Death Labyrinth was quietly redesignated as a human-accessible archaeological site and opened for regular tours the following month.